Yo! Yo, 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 yo. You know what this is, man. Is it that time again?
It's definitely that time.
It must be motherfucking Friday, goddammit. It's Friday, right?
Ain't that time.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
You know what this is, man. This is UNRAP. And we back at it like crack addicts. I say that all the time because we are on top of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Back at it like crack addicts. Boy, we got a good one tonight. You got a damn good one tonight. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be beautiful. Can I say that? It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, without a doubt. Can we take that volume down just a little bit? Because I don't think they heard me. You know what today is, right? You know what today is? I'm looking at you. It's Friday, goddammit. And we back at it like crack addicts, boy.
Yes, we are.
I am your boy. We back at it like crack addicts is what I said. You heard? You heard? Let's go, baby. You know who I am. I'm your boy, Heat Detector, with my illustrious co-host.
Najvino.
Oh, you didn't throw the V in there this time.
I thought I did.
Oh, shit. That's bullshit. She gets all the fanfare every time.
Not true. But you
Fanfare.
Heat Detector and Najvino.
Nah, I said my illustrious co-host. Anyways, we also got the engineer, our local resident hacker in the building. Yeah. See, this that shit I don't like. Just turn the music off, man. I'm done. Just turn that shit off. I'm done.
That was fly though.
No. See, the problem is no. The problem is I get zero fanfare. So I'm a little jealous. I'm a little slighted right about now.
I mean,
Every fucking time I get this happens.
the vibe is chill. We got candles lit and shit.
Man, it is what it is, man. I ain't even gonna hold my breath no more for no kind of love, no kind of nothing.
It's delicious up in here.
What?
Definitely delicious.
Don't
up in here.
It's delicious up in here.
Yes.
So you know what we got going on tonight, right? We got tonight. I know I'm gonna say this because I say it every show, but I'm excited.
But you mean it.
But I mean it. I'm excited. I get excited all the time, but I'm really excited for this one. But I say that all the time too, but I truly am. The reason being because this guy that we're getting ready to interview is a hip hop staple in Chicago. Like, if you don't know this guy and you trying to be out there, are you even paying attention?
I am.
Okay. If you don't know this guy, you got a fucking problem. If you don't know this guy, let's say you do art, you rap, you sing, you do whatever. You
Any kind of art.
Anything in the culture, period. And you don't know this guy, man, you don't quit your fucking day job, son. Don't quit your day job. I mean that shit.
You might want to get a second one, maybe.
You might want to pick up that third shift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're fucking up. And yeah, that overnight shift. So without further ado, I'm just gonna bring him on in. Is that cool with you? We ain't got to talk about shit else because I'm already in it already.
Let's do it.
All right. In the motherfucking building tonight, we have the one, the only. Make sure you get them applause and all that shit ready. PUGS ATOMZ is in the goddamn building.
Bow. Just like that.
Yo.
What's the word?
Hey, we good, but hold on. You see how you got that fanfare in the very beginning?
Hey, you got to talk to your producer, man.
Hey, man, look, man, we've been doing this show for a fucking year, and I never get
Heat Detector and Najvino.
I said, but anyways, that's beside the point. I know next time
we're gonna let some confetti fly.
I need some confetti. I need a champagne bottle pop or whatever. I need it all going. But anyways, tonight we got the one and the only PUGS ATOMZ is in the motherfucking building.
I'm here.
When I say Chicago staple, I mean that shit. Like, when I first moved here, he's one of the first people I heard about. Like, you can't be in the hip hop community, in the culture, period, and you're an artist of any type and not know who this guy is or have heard of him. If you haven't, like I said, you need to get you a motherfucking other job or something, because
you are definitely immersed in the culture.
Yeah, this guy's been there, done that, seen that, and then some. We over here talking like you ain't even here. My apologies for those.
Go ahead. I'll take the intro.
Okay, for those people that live in a goddamn cave in Afghanistan, or under a fucking rock on the west coast of California, like somewhere in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Up in the redwoods, man, and you're hiding up in a fucking tree or running from a grizzly bear or some shit. Tell the people who you are for those idiots that don't know.
All right, my name is PUGS ATOMZ. I'm a Chicago representative from Inglewood. That's my community. I learned how to b-boy, rap, and then graffiti, everything in that neighborhood, man. And I'm here with you all, man.
Yeah, everything. Look, I love hearing that because you know what it makes me feel like? It makes me feel like everything in his life led him to this point right now.
To this moment.
Everything he's ever done led him here.
Well, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, man, me too, man. I'm honored to have you on the show. I know who you are. I've met you on multiple occasions. I've been around your presence, around people, even artists that you're around. It's kind of, I'm not gonna say strange, but it's weird how like when you're like your own juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not like you have like kiss ass people around you or anything like that. But like when you're in the building, there is a level of like people hovering and just like whispering and shit. Stuff happens over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but even my drunk ass noticed that shit. You know what I'm saying? When I used to drink, even I noticed that shit. But and it's kind of one of those things. You know what I mean? Have you ever felt like, hey man, I'm kind of special in this city?
Yeah, on occasions it happens. I mean, I probably the last really good one that was like a wow was probably at the Necrobat reunion show. Me and Taiwan put together at the arcade bar in Wicker Park, and it was just everyone there like really getting what it was about. You know, that was like so powerful to me. You know,
right, and that's a special feeling. I've had that you know, I maybe once or twice in my life or something like that. I've been touched a little bit, but it has to feel good. You have to like think like in your mind, like, man, maybe I'm doing the right things. I made the right choices in my life to do this type of shit. Because, you know, somebody like yourself, you wear so many fucking hats that it's sometimes like, even for myself on the outside looking in, like, how does this guy, how are you managing your time? How are you doing all this shit? You're like a writer, a director, a fucking artist, a fucking clothing designer, a fucking rapper, Jesus Christ, a true Renaissance man. Like, where in the hell do you find the time?
Well, I mean, for me, I look at it, you know, in a way where it's all the same thing. Like none of these things are different. It's just all art and it's just all expression. So, I mean, for me, creating is my release. You know what I mean? Some people drink, some people smoke, etc. Making things, you know, I love to do that. And then in a collaborative effort to make things, you know, I'd probably say the thing that interests me the most in all of this. Yeah.
Right. You didn't have to throw that drinking part in there, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't a vice. I promise. It wasn't a vice.
I mean, that's not even to you in general.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, for me, it's like, oh, man, I'm about to make this album. Oh, man, I'm about to paint this. You know?
Oh, yeah. No, I get it as a creative person, because I ask this question a lot sometimes, and I'm really interested to hear your answer, because I ask this a lot to a lot of artists. If you have an idea, if you don't have an outlet for it, does your brain kind of just like you have to get it out? Or like, say you're laying down sleeping, and if an idea comes to your head, if you don't get it out, you'll end up being up all night staring at the fucking ceiling.
Something like that. Like, I mean, for me, it'll be more like I have a dream, and like in the dream, I'll kick this 16. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so wicked. And then at that point, I'll wake up and be like, oh man, like I need to like write this down. How can I write this down? Can I even remember, you know, what I just said? So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's a crazy process. By the way, that song, Cadillac on Michigan, the way you spit those bars, man, is just fucking ridiculous. When I was putting the flyer together and going through your discography and everything, you got a shit ton of music, a shit ton of things that could have been put up. And I was like, wait a minute, Jesus. Like those bars to me were so unexpected to myself. You know what I'm saying? I know you got bars, I know, but the flow, the beat, how you wrote it and everything was really, really ridiculous. Why is there not a second verse on that motherfucker?
Oh, no. So the whole song is with Chris Crack and Killer Priest. That's the whole thing.
Chris Crack, my little guy. We just interviewed him 2 weeks ago. Good kid.
Word.
Man, that dude's something else. That's a real creative soul right there too. Shout out to Chris Crack.
Word.
Also, shout out to Audacity, man. I know you and Audacity go back a ways, and you guys have a great relationship, man. Do you feel like you have to have like a really good relationship with somebody in order to work with them, or are you just kind of like open, like, yeah, fuck it, I'll work with you. Come on.
I mean, for me, like I'm fans of people, you know what I mean? Everybody I work with, you know, it's like I like their stuff, you know, just initially. Like, I mean, we could do the song or not do the song. I just really like what you do. And, you know, I think maybe we can make something cool together. But I mean, I would say most of the records I'm on, or I should say most of the records I put together, is like, these are like my friends. These are the people I'm hanging out with at this point in time, you know? So this is my world, you know, these people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you ever find that there's any conflict? Say, for instance, you have an idea about something and you're like, no, it needs to be this way. And they go, no, man, that shit don't sound right, bro. And you're like, no, trust me. And any pushback on anything like that whenever you're working with somebody?
Here and there. I mean, I would say it's more so like them hearing the rough draft versus the final version, you know, that part of them like, oh, wow, you put it together, you know?
Yeah.
And that, but I mean, a lot of times in the sense of what you're asking, like those records probably just don't happen, you know?
Right.
You know, because I always hear people's voices. I'm like, oh, this person would be dope. Let me hit them up to see. And then sometimes they're like, ah, man, I can't really rap to that kind of beat right now, or, you know, that kind of thing. Because I mean, for me, I don't really look at like it's a trap beat, a hip hop beat, a jazzy beat. I just look at, oh, wow, that beat has something in it that speaks to me. And I feel like I can create something on it.
Right. So it doesn't really matter. It just really matters about the track and how it
speaks. Just being a dope beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has emotion to it.
Shout out to E. Johnson in the comments. He's one of our loyal watchers, man. He watches the show every week. You know, shout out to E. Johnson.
Oh, what up, E?
You see Jizzle in the comments. Delicious. Jizzle. Yeah. Jizzle's my guy. And I actually watched the interview that he did with you as well today. And you've got your fingers in everything. DJ,
I mean, that's what hip hop is. It's everything.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I guess as a creative person, because when I look at it, when I look at someone like you, and I say their fingers and everything, because I'm really talking like from somebody who maybe doesn't understand it from a creative standpoint, like, right? So some people, as if they're not a creative person, they may not understand the time management or it's just all the same to me. It's all creativity. It's all artistry. It's all this. They may not understand that they're in their mind. It's like, fuck, how does he do it? He's over here. He's painting. He's fucking directing. He's doing this. He's rapping. He's making beats. He's fucking, you know, he's an activist. He does all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Some people may look at it that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, people do sometimes be like, wow, that's a lot.
Right.
And then, I mean, that's why most times when I introduce myself, I just say, hey, my name's PUGZ, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because that's like way too much to give somebody, you know.
Right. And just like after you shake their hand, you're like, oh, yeah, here's my shit. Let's see. You know what I'm saying?
It's fair to call yourself an artist. I mean, hell, in every possible meaning of that, that's what you are. What's your favorite part about Chicago creative culture?
I like the DIY aspect of it. I mean, that's what attracted me in the beginning, just people creating their own ecosystems and, you know, their own movements and building from it.
I love it.
Right. Because you're not originally from Chicago. How long have you been here?
I was born in Pittsburgh. My dad was like a radio DJ there, and he came here to be a radio DJ. And I think I was maybe like 2, 3. So, I mean, it was, you know.
So you grew up in a family of creators and artists.
Yeah. My mom, she was a painter. Yeah. And then my grandma, she did like real estate, and then she had a couple different like thrift stores. So I mean, that's why I was so into gear, because I mean, that was like what you did. She'd be like, hey, go sell all your toys you don't want to buy these sneakers that you do want, you know?
Right. Well, that's good advice. So I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he was like, "No, man, he's from Pittsburgh, but his dad was a carpenter and his mom was a nurse." I was like, "No, I think you got it wrong." Pretty sure dad was a goddamn carpenter. I'm pretty sure his family was in the entertainment business. No, his dad's a carpenter, bro. I'm telling you, he's a carpenter and his mom's a nurse. Some shit, and then he says some shit like that. Okay, you're gonna end it off with some shit like that. All right, I got you. I
That's like the AI giving the
right. AI, type in Pugs Adams, it's gonna say mother was a carpenter, dad was a nurse. That was shit all fucked up. When you let's talk about the Chicago creativity, the artistry, and everything that happens here in Chicago. Did you, once being here and once you get your foothold into the whole ecosystem of hip hop and the culture here in Chicago, did you find it difficult to like branch out of Chicago? Because a lot of people, and it's kind of fucked up the way the city is, there's a lot of people that are extraordinary artists, but they can never seem to get out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think part of the reason is because in other cities, what you have is like let's say California, for instance. California doesn't have one city that the whole state relies on. So they have LA, they have Fresno, they have the whole.
You could travel up and down the coast.
Yeah. So then, even Texas has Dallas, Fort Worth, it has San Antonio, it has Houston, New York is, but Chicago is really just Chicago. And Chicago pretty much carries the burden and the weight of the entire fucking state. And it's from my own observation, I see a lot of very talented people, but they can't seem to break out of Chicago, or let's just say the Midwest region. Have you seen that in your workings and dealings?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, in the beginning, I was just so about being one of the best in Chicago. So I mean, I really didn't care about travel at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I would say like on like some of my first trips to other places and meeting rappers in those places, it did like kick off a light. I mean, for me, it was probably when I was 18. I was in the NAACP AXO art competition representing a chapter from Chicago. And then I met this guy, Damon Lamar Reed, who was from Phoenix. And he was representing the chapter there. And then this guy, Dinky, who was in this group Hall of Fame some years ago. And then he did some stuff with Power 92 in the present day. And now he's like a DJ. And then this guy, Kanye West. Yeah. Because I mean, none of us knew each other. We just were kids,
right.
Just like, oh wow, you look kind of hip hop. Hey, do you want to freestyle?
Mm-hmm.
But I would say for me, that was the first time I was like, man. So in other cities, the same things are happening. Because I mean, I was so zoned into Chicago's history. Your Chirac Nation. Like the biggest graffiti writer for me as a kid was this guy, Crazy Man GBC. He would, have stuff off the train lines. Mm-hmm. I was just really more, figuring out the break-in scene here. So other places really didn't have that same grandeur. Like, I mean, I did really like New York rap at a certain time, and then later like West Coast rap a lot at a certain time. But Chicago just had my heart, man. That's what it was about.
Right.
But in that traveling, then I started to, meet people and talk to people and trade things with people. And, the first time, I think I might have went to like Urbana or, some college town and did a show. After that, it was like, okay, I get it. Okay, so college is our way out, in the sense of underground hip hop. Because if you weren't really making something for the radio, you're not going to win the talent show. It's not going to happen, And so it was really the grind of it. But then also, I would say for me and for my peers, like things like Scribble Jam and like Rocksteady Reunion, in the 90s, those places taught us how to get to the other places. Because you're meeting the version of you in this city,
Right.
And then, everybody's trading tapes and trading secrets of how to, get it going.
Right. Now you lived in Europe for a while, and I lived in Europe as well. And I'm going to ask this because I noticed some things, and I've been bringing this up a lot lately because it just kind of scares me a little bit, not in a physical sense, but the hip hop scene in Europe is like crazy fucking different. Like they take that shit so fucking serious. Like everything is very serious. They know everything. They know songs that you motherfuckers forgot about. They know every fucking word. Like it's a different scene. Do you think that here in the States that there is such a lackadaisical attitude towards the artistry and the culture here in the United States?
I mean, to me, I think it's really the same. I mean, you got to think about hip hop was an underground thing that certain people were really, really into and really cared about. And if you look at the way it is now, it's still certain people really, really care about. I just think sometimes it can be very segmented based on taste.
Right.
Because you like an underground A, you like underground B, you like underground C, but they're all, in the same thing as what they're trying to do.
Right. I
But
said that.
I felt
Go ahead.
Chicago and Europe were similar in that, and how I came up in hip hop. People took it very seriously. They knew all the different artists,
Yeah.
small and big. Yeah.
I said that because, with breakdancing being in the Olympics,
Mhm.
and we're eons behind every other country in breaking. We're like, I mean, I'm sure there's some guys out there that are really getting it and that are dope as hell, that are doing shit, but
it's definitely not a whole team of people.
yeah, and we don't even have our shit together as far as like I saw Crazy Legs on Drink Champs, and he's talking about he's like one of the head coaches for the Olympic team,
Mhm.
and he's talking about they don't have a facility. They got these guys working out at like LA Fitness. They don't have jack shit. And then he's like, and here we have all these millionaires in the game that won't contribute and do anything for the culture. And I find that shit real shocking. It's gonna be real fucked up because I don't think the United States is even gonna they're even gonna make it to the podium in my opinion, because the French and the whole Asian, like the Koreans and the Japanese and all of them, they have such a chokehold on breakdancing and everything. It's not even fucking funny. They're doing
But I
shit.
mean, you got to think about it though. Like we had it, we ruled it, rapped all these.
They were basketball. What happened? They had to get.
But you got to understand, like in the sense of how it spreads and it changes. Right. You know what I mean? Like with the footwork and all that stuff.
Right.
We the coldest. You see what I'm saying? Like it shifts. It shifts.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you had did it in the 90s, who would have won?
Oh yeah, we would have.
In the 80s, who would have won?
Yeah, that's big facts.
I mean, it's gotta keep evolving. You know what I mean? But I think it's just the segmentation of hip hop that's ruining it in this moment of the support that you're talking about.
Right. Do you find yourself like constantly trying to reinvent yourself? Or I wouldn't even say trying, but like thinking of trying to reinvent PUGS ATOMZ or your style of music to like keep up with anything?
I would say when I was younger, I probably definitely was, trying to do that. I mean, at this point, I just do what I feel. I do what's fun. To be really honest with you, like if it's not fun, I'm not really trying to do it. So some things I say no, I'm not going to do that.
See.
So it's for you. It's exercising your creative license. That's kind of what keeps you motivated. Just being able to
see if I can pull it off. And just to build on ideas, that I might have had 2 years ago, but right now is the time where I could pull it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to force it. I mean, to me, at that point, you could be working anywhere, or you could be the biggest pop artist. You know what I mean? Because you're working around what other people are telling you is the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to a question. Okay, I'm an A&R from a record label, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. PUGS ATOMZ, here's the deal. I'm going to give you $10 million. We're going to sign you, but we need you to dress up in this shiny ass suit and wear these rhinestone cowboy boots and this pink cowboy hat. You doing it?
That's not me though, because I mean, in the sense of purchasing me to do anything, it's like I'm designing the clothes. Like,
right.
But I mean, that's part of the deal.
Come on, Mr. Here. Here's the thing. I'm handing you $10 million, sir. Let's look at the big picture, sir. I'm handing you $10 million. Here you go. And here's the suit, by the way. Try it on.
I don't know. I'm a different guy, man. I've walked off movie sets.
See, now we've heard people say that. I've heard so many people say, hell no, I ain't taking the bag. I ain't doing it. We had a couple of people say, hell yeah, give me the bag. I'll wear that motherfucker. But when we interviewed Chris Crack, I just had to say this real quick because he said something that nobody else said. And he said, do I have creative control? If I have creative control, I'll put on whatever the fuck you want me to put on. But I'm going to make that shit look so slick. You know what I'm saying? And that to me struck me like wow, okay.
But you got to see it. You got to see it for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's worth it for you? I mean, for me, it's only worth it if I could design it. That's it. I mean, otherwise, I could just do what I'm doing.
Right. So, $10 million right now, but you get no creative control, and I got the bag for you right now. You're
Again, I could be working for anybody. It loses the value.
All right. Last chance. Last chance.
Mr.
You sure? Last chance? It's a no-go. No Diddy suit, no nothing. All right. I'm going to let it go.
He's like, that was my zinger.
That was my zinger. I knew it. No. I expected an answer like that from somebody as creative as yourself. I didn't expect anything less. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had people on the show that go, oh, hell no, my integrity, my this, my that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of, to me, it's just, you know.
Well, it can become bravado, you know.
Yeah,
because I mean, in the real scheme of it, it's just, you know, what kind of artist you are. Some artists that are willing to suffer for the art. There's other artists that are like, look, man, I have bills.
Right.
And right now, this is my easy out.
Yeah, this is the easy way out. It's 10 mil.
And your reality is truly your reality. So
you know.
And it's also the kind of person you are. I mean, I know I'm definitely more of a long term. If I'm doing something with somebody, I'm planning to do it
long
for some
term.
time.
The bigger picture. You know, like the old adage says, you know, some people hop over a dollar to get to a penny. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not focused on the bigger picture, the broader spectrum of things. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to just grab the money right quick and you forget about the money that you could be having or could be making in the longer run.
Well, even in the shorter run, I mean, I think a lot of times we don't see the money. You know, most of my people always be like, "Man, you always like don't leave the money on the floor." I'm like, bro, like, if you're not gonna speak up, who will?
Right. Big facts. But I mean, you know, I ask a lot of questions like that just because I know a lot of people, you know, that are not in the industry, they don't, you know, the most they're into anything is what they hear on the fucking radio or they see in reality shows or in a rap video or whatever. They tend to believe those kinds of things. I was sitting with a friend of mine today, and I'm in a video that has me getting robbed. And the only thing he keeps saying, play that part where you get robbed. Like in his mind, like I really got robbed.
Well, no, I also saw this video and I was like, dang, they got robbed, G.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here looking at him going, yo, my G, I did not get robbed. You realize this is a music video.
It's too late, man. That's the entertainment of it.
But you know, the crazy thing is that they wanted my son in the video and they wanted him to get stabbed and die.
Wow. Oh, my
and
God.
I said, no, we're not having that. But at the same time, I did the robbery scene where I got robbed and you know, gave the dude my necklace and shit. Now everybody, whenever they've ever seen that video, they're like, oh man, you got robbed, dude.
No, you better not get in any podcast beef.
Yeah, I know, right?
That clip is coming up, and they're making memes.
Since we're talking about beef, I got big beef right now with my co-host. I've been having a beef with her for years. Now listen to this. This crazy ass woman. Okay, you want me to calm down? Fuck that. So you ever heard of Beats by the Pound?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't say that with a lot of confidence, bro.
Now keep in mind, he about to put 20 on 50 for this one. So.
Nah. I'm gonna tell the truth.
It's not in you.
I'm gonna tell the truth. She says that Beats by the Pound is in her top 3 of producers in the music industry of all fucking time. Oh, come on, man. You wasn't even here. You wasn't even in the building.
He definitely was here.
They are not the greatest production team of any type, way, shape, or form.
Damn, that's harsh.
No, it's true. No,
like,
but
what if that was like my uncle and stuff right now, man? I said, what if that was like my uncle, man? I'd be so offended.
I'm sorry. If they was your uncles, motherfucker wouldn't be saying, "Oh, your dad's a carpenter and your mom's a nurse." You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, you know, his uncle's in Beats by the Pound, right?
Look at that. Look at it. He's still going. He's throwing dirt.
Man. Look, I'm 173, you know.
Okay,
nobody agrees with you.
You didn't even ask the question, but let me just say this. I stand on what I said when I said what I said. Okay. Their influence on Southern hip hop culture.
That's where you're
cannot be
wrong.
erased.
That's where you're wrong. It wasn't their influence. It was the bag that Master P got from Universal. That's what that
is
was.
Your dry
When
ass
you
opinion.
no, it's not an opinion and it's not dry. Okay, look, we got a fucking guess. We got a fucking guess here. Okay, we got it. Listen, introducing PUGS ATOMZ. Yo, can we get a round of applause? PUGS ATOMZ is in the building. Can we get? Yeah. Can we?
Oh man, I was
Jesus
not expecting
Christ.
that. Wow.
You see what I'm saying? This is what the fuck I got to deal with. Oh, Master Pete, not Master Pete. Oh, Beats by the Pound loving ass motherfucker over here.
Why do you bring this up to upset yourself?
I'm not upset. I'm winning.
Your blood pressure
I'm
has
winning.
escalated.
How you winning?
I'm 173 and 0. No one agrees. No. Shit. Fuck you mean? I'm 173 and 0.
You're insane.
All right.
We need to get them on the show. Seriously.
For what?
Okay, so if we can just kind of skip past the sociopath over here.
Yeah, y'all should definitely get them on the show so they can defend themselves. It's going up. It's going up.
Well, how about this?
This might be the viral moment, man. That might be the viral moment.
I was able to find them.
Oh wow.
How about that?
Don't do that.
How about that?
Don't do that.
Gotta find them niggas
That's
first.
not nice.
All right, you're right.
What is your favorite thing that you have created? Whether it be a song, a piece of art, a sculpture, whatever.
Man, my favorite thing, probably playing with matches. That album. That's probably one. Just because it tells a story of like all of us growing up doing graffiti and just where it took me, and then me being like, I don't really want to do that in the sense of your shiny suit.
Right.
Yeah. But it was like, I mean, from my knowledge, it's like the only album that ever details being a graffiti writer in a real way, not like a corny kind of way or superficial, surface level kind of way, but really like, how do you feel? What do you go through? In the sense of how people do drug rap, you know, like a Scarface will give you, well, he gave you like those stories, or Jay-Z in that sense. Yeah.
What's the most dangerous tag you ever done?
I wouldn't like to say on this screen here. You know?
We didn't get a chance to give them the disclosure in the beginning.
Just like vaguely, like was it like on like?
Nah, see now this is not Vlad TV.
right.
This ain't Vlad TV. We are not doing that. See,
I just say I'm glad I'm still alive. You know, I'm glad I'm still alive.
Watch it.
You acting up today.
No. I'm just like, first of all, I'm going only by what you say. So my vibe is off your vibe. So let's get that shit clear.
We're gonna have to go back and get the actual clip of that show and like play that.
Wow. Oh man, that could just be a whole show of you playing the clip and then defending it, man. I need a producer's credit.
Yes.
Run it.
You broke up right there. You broke up.
Hold on.
I didn't hear what he said. I'm 173 and 0. I thought we squashed the conversation. Okay, let's move forward, people. Please. We have a guest. Jesus, stay on task, woman. Stay on task.
Let's talk a little bit. Well, not a little bit. Let's talk a lot about your actual art. Your
I was frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's talk about your art, your exhibits and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, my last solo one was Mookie on the South Side, and it kind of just details life on the South Side of Chicago, like what places did we go to, what did we wear, what did we watch, what were we influenced by, you know, and then just different moments of, you know, like Promontory Point, where a lot of us, you know, learned how to really perfect our skills in that, or the Terra Dome, you know, across the Museum of Science and Industry, or Michigan Avenue, you know, in our heyday, you know, that kind of stuff. But from a perspective also, you know, discussing how, you know, other cities claim Chicago things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like this from Chicago though, you know what I mean? So you can't really claim it, you know?
Right.
And just how in the exhibit, I kind of took back things, you know, in the opposite way. So people kind of enjoyed that part. Yeah,
it's very rich. I loved it. It was original, but like the only word I could really think of is just like rich, because you'll think, and you might think about that being in access, but I just think it was just full up, like truth, expression, like it felt like Chicago. Like I especially love that Italian Fiesta on the shirt.
Oh yeah.
That is Chicago as fuck. Like for real.
Yeah,
For
now
real.
that was a dope moment. I used to live on top of Italian Fiesta on 71st Street, man. So yeah, those were the people. Those were the people, man. I should have got a job there, man.
Man.
Would you go ahead? Go ahead. No.
I'm just about to say that shit. That'd be the best living situation in the world for me. Back then.
I'm not gonna touch
Yeah,
that.
they got me. They definitely got me.
But
nah, they even hit me up over the shirt. They're like, dope, you know. They were into it. So that was
do a marketing branding deal with them. I mean, it sounds about right to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about Chicago culture and the art scene and everything here in the city, does it ever upset you that like other cities take Chicago shit but never give back to Chicago shit, or give Chicago the true recognition that it has? Because Chicago has a very, very deep history of hip hop, the culture itself, from graffiti writing, breakdancing, rapping, DJing.
You should tell them all to go to the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum, man. Go soak that in. You see yourself on the wall. It's crazy. Yeah. But I definitely feel, you know, the mutual aid needs to be greater in that sense. But also I feel, you know, we have to dictate our stories, you know. I mean, that's the main reason I even did, you know, an Acrobat documentary, or, you know, me and Infinito in Taiwan put together the compilation album of all the songs in the past. Because it was like, if we don't tell our story, who's going to tell it? You know, in the way you know what I mean? Not from their far off perspective. Yeah. But then, you know, that's why I really resonated with London, man, just because like they really were into Chicago records. Like that blew me, man. They're like, yo, you know these? I'm like, I grew up with all these records, you know what I mean? And so that was really fresh. And then like, you know, places in Germany, like really being into like the underground Chicago hip hop, like having every moment release, etc. You know, it was really cool to see, you know, and that kind of give back. But I would say the West Coast definitely showed a lot of love to the Midwest in comparison, you know.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like maybe in the bigger picture in comparison to other cities, because I've been here in Chicago now for 17 years. I tell people I hate even saying where I'm from anymore, because it don't even matter. I'm here in Chicago. I'm from Chicago now after 17 years. Not like, man, I ain't moving back to New York. I most definitely ain't moving back to Cali. I haven't been to Cali in a gazillion years. I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do if I was out of Cali. But I mean, I went out there to visit a couple of years ago, and I was just like, man, get me the fuck up out of here, man. I don't want to be here. This shit is crazy. But you know, so I have like, you know, adopted. I can't say adopted Chicago, but because Chicago has also adopted me, and that's one of the things that I learned really quickly in the city of Chicago. One of the first people I met was when we think of Chirac Nation. When I think of Chirac Nation, I think of a guy named Saphir, heavyset guy. I met him at Guitar Center.
Fear.
Yeah. I went to this guy's crib, man, and he
had everything in there. That was like a museum, man. I used to love to go there and check everything out. He got all the VHS tapes, all the breaking and
all the flyers. I need to go back. Like, wow, I was like, holy shit. And then my son was just getting into graffiti at that time. This was in 2007, I think, when I met him. And my son was just like, you know, graffiti, of course, yeah, you make up your own letters and shit, but none of the shit my son was doing was even legible or even had any. He'd be like, that's an I, and I was like, that. Damn. I was like, I'm like, you know, even when you do graffiti and you make up your own fonts or lettering or whatever you want to call it, it still has to have a slight remnants of the actual letter. It can't be like a circle with a fucking looking like a donut and you call it an I. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not an I, bro. That's like a O or a donut. You know what I'm saying? But I took him over to Saphir's house. Fear, I'm sorry. And Fear gave him, it was I forget the name of the magazine, but it was the original, because you know, back in the day when they put the magazine together, you would have to put together a pasted.
Yeah. Now I used to work for Chirac magazine. Like
it was a bit, it was like all original art, all graffiti stuff. Excuse me, I don't know what the fuck my son did it with that book, but he had given it to him. He's like, yeah, you know, he talked with that high pitch ass voice. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? He gave it to my son. I was like, nah, don't do that, because you know this kid might color in it or something. You know what I'm saying? This is history. Like, no, man, I gotta and he had a whole room in the back of his house. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's something else, man. But he, a dope individual, you know. He was one of those people that I met here in the city, and I brought him up to say that when I talked about being adopted in this city or the city adopting me, you know, it's when you get immersed in the culture here in this city, there's nothing like it anywhere. I promise you, like you've traveled, you've been
But
abroad.
no, I mean, he's one of the people that really made me be like, all right. I think I'm really gonna dip my toes in, because I mean, at first I was really only into graffiti. I wasn't really into rapping that much. I didn't really find it cool, you know. I didn't relate to it because a lot of the rap was like really more adult stuff. It wasn't really like kid stuff,
Right?
you know.
I mean, he made a believer out of me, even though I'm hip hop out. You know what I mean? I feel like hip hop saved my life, you know, and everything. I DJ'd, I used to break dance. I've done every aspect of it, and I really feel like it saved my life. But when I met him, kind of like re-energized me, to kind of like, you know, him and a few other people that I met along the way of my journey here in the city, man. And it's been pretty fucking amazing. And I can't compare it to any other place, especially in the United States. Maybe Switzerland, maybe Germany, maybe France. You know,
No, this is a unique situation, man.
Very unique.
Just because this wasn't the dominant culture, like hip hop wasn't popular. Like if you were hip hop, you know, people are like, that's cool, but you know, it was very outcasty for a while, and then it became cool, you know.
I lived out here in 1985, and I remember I was listening to hip hop, and everybody was listening, 84, 85, and everybody's listening to house music. They were like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
I tried to play some LL Cool J or some shit like that. Like, turn that shit off. Nobody want to hear that shit.
Explain it to your parents, you're going to be a rapper. That was a hard conversation.
That's a hard sell.
They're like, yo, it's a fad. It's not going to last.
Yeah, but house music
is crazy.
It's wild. And oddly enough, when I lived here 84 to 85, and oddly enough, when my first record deal was with Jesse Saunders, one of the originators of house music, Gangsta Boogie Records in LA. He signed me as a producer. Matter of fact, Jesse Saunders, I want my money. He still owes me money. He does.
Right now, public notice.
Public notice. And I've been in the game for a minute, and I've had some things happen, man. And since I started this podcast, I've been throwing it out there every once in a while. Every once in a while, hopefully one of these motherfuckers say something, because I wish they would. If we go.
See, now you really got to start the podcast beef with some other podcasts, so all the information can be trickled out. You know?
Right, trickled it down. But see, I've never been a person like into like beef. Any shit like that, you know what I mean? I say that, but I'm over here yelling at her, right?
You see me looking at you like,
I mean, you seem ready. You seem equipped, yeah.
Yeah, oh no, I'm built for this shit. Yeah, most definitely built for it. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll fare well. When somebody owes me something, I want what's mine. Yeah, I'm saying. But hey, come on, can I just talk about how great Chicago hip hop is? You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you made me lose.
But back to that, like when you said like that moment where you look back and like, yeah, I'm here. Was being in their magazine, being in Chicago Rocks. That was like a wow moment. I was like, okay, I've arrived. You know.
Right. Yeah, I've had a couple of those moments here in the city by being around like people like yourself. You know, I was wasted at the time, multiple times. I fuck it all the time. But, you know, just being around and being immersed in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Because I do remember a lot of the stuff, even though I was like damn near blackout drunk and drove home. I don't know how the fuck I made it home all the time, but I would be so happy of being in that group of people, in that group of creators and artists and everything like that, because there's not many places in the United States that you can go and then all of a sudden you're just, you know, you move to a city and all of a sudden, boom, you're in the mix.
Yeah, and it's a steady flow of stuff. Yeah, because I've definitely been wanting going to other cities, and they're like, yo, this is as good as it gets, bro.
Yeah.
Come back next year this time. That's all we got.
Come back next year. Hopefully the festival will still be going next year. You know what I'm saying? But like here, it's nonstop. And if you get really into it, you can find yourself at the club, at an open mic, at something.
Yeah. Now, when I was younger, man, I literally would go out 7 days a week, man.
Yeah.
Because it was so much to do. It was just so much to do.
And there still is.
No, it's still going crazy. I mean, at this point, I'm like, man, I don't even have the time.
Yeah.
It's definitely a gift and a curse. Like we're super segregated city, but all those neighborhoods all have something special to offer. You know.
DJ Ace Vito, he says H-Town definitely got love for Shy. Everybody's got love for
Yeah,
Shy.
pick up the H-Town, man. They've been showing a lot of love lately.
Yeah.
E. Johnson mentions the Scribble Jam. He said DJ Precise snap off on the turntables that they banned him because nobody could measure up in Scribble Jam.
Yeah, he was too ill. He was just too ill. He was just taking trophies. Yeah.
just
And that's one of the homies too, man.
Yeah, just walking in like, hand me that. Let me get that. Yeah. I don't even need to turn my shit on. Just give me that right now.
Yeah, he was just such a natural, man. Like it was effortless. It would be amazing to see.
And that's another thing about Chicago. Chicago is, what do they say? It's the city of heavy shoulders, big shoulders. But I mean, people are quick. That if you from Chicago, your work ethic, if you're really into something and you're really about that shit, this is a different kind of place.
I mean, I think it was just the challenge culture of like, oh yeah, you do that, great, you know. So it's like you have to be so good to get past, to the next thing.
Get past that alone. Obviously you've come across some of those hurdles yourself, or did you even look at them as hurdles?
Sometimes, because you're like, man, why can't you just let me in this? You know what I mean? But you learn how to either make your own or you work up to it. One of the
hence why you said you love Chicago, because it's a DIY type of place, which is true. And I can tell you, I've been a person that hustles and does stuff my entire life, and I can tell you, coming here and living here and being a part of Chicago, the whole hip hop culture and everything. It puts an extra, if you already a grinding ass motherfucker and a hustler and a person that knows how to go out and get it puts an extra battery in your back to like really, really get it. Like if you're going to do this shit, you need to do this shit, because other people will look at you and be like, oh, you doing a podcast? Oh, man. For real?
But everybody's got a homie, Everybody knows somebody that does whatever you do.
Yeah. My uncle got a podcast. My grandma just started one. And my TV about to start hers next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, my bad.
That's a real.
I went to Sub T's just recently, which was really weird. Walking around with a glass of Coke, that was weird.
Good for you.
But I treated it like it was a drink. That was weird. Like me sipping on it, like, yeah. But,
it was strong.
Yeah, it's just
bubbles.
Well, I asked for zero. But
oh wow, now that's strong, bro.
I was talking to Shadow Master, and I was like, yeah, we need to get you on the show to do part 2, you and Annihilation. And he's like, oh damn, you still doing that? I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing it. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, I don't know, man. I just, people be coming up all the time, like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then when you ask them again, they're like, oh, I ain't doing that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? No, man, I'm in this shit. I'm in it. Like, 100%.
In it to win it.
So we got you tonight. You're the guinea pig.
You are.
Tonight we're doing a questionnaire that we're going to start asking everybody. It's going to be the same question to everybody. So today, you are the guinea pig. You are the first person to get this line of questioning.
Don't let us down.
All right.
Wow.
Can we get a round of applause for that? All right.
Look at that studio audience.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this we call this segment "You Got to Chill." All right, now it's a line of questioning. These are you answer them how you see fit.
We're gonna go one for one.
Yeah, you want to go first, but okay. But you answer them how you see fit.
No pressure.
You may or may not get pushback. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, question number 1: what came first, the poet or the rapper?
The poet.
The poet. Why? That's like the chicken or the egg.
I kind of think you'd say that.
Because I think it's kind of like an open-ended question, because
I think it's the same thing to me. I mean, that's
but when you think about like in the context of, because some people have never written any poetry and then decided they wanted to be a rapper, and then there are people that had a journey from writing poetry to writing stories to being a storyteller, and then ventured off into hip hop or rapping. You know what I'm saying? So you say the poet comes first. I bet you there's some mumble rappers out there that really like to fucking fight you about that one. Right. That's just my opinion.
I don't think they go that deep, bro.
All right, you might be right. Go ahead.
in that sense. But nah, see, to me, like I feel like with poetry, you're more tender, you're softer. So like I feel like when you first start, you're super soft, you know, with whatever you're doing because you're not good yet. You know,
Right.
you don't even know what good sounds like yet.
Yeah, you're a little tenderfooted.
Yeah, and I feel like the rapper is when it's like more verbose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that answer.
Yeah.
I'll live with it.
Okay.
I mean, I got no choice but to live with it. It's his answer.
It's very fucking true.
All right.
That
All
does
right.
check out. That's very accurate.
Yeah.
Who's more important, the DJ or the producer?
I'll probably say the DJ is probably more important. Just because if nobody hears it,
Yeah.
what did you do? You could have the illest beat if nobody heard it.
But in order to get heard, you got to have the music first.
Yeah, but if you have no outlet, you the fly in the jar, you know.
Wow.
But you got to have the music first, though. In order
Yeah,
to
but I
get
mean,
the
also
DJ,
to get the music, you heard it from the DJ.
Right, because you didn't. We're not asking who creates it first. We're asking who's more important.
E. Johnson
The
says.
finished product?
E. Johnson says, "Stop the nonsense. Poet came before the rap."
Damn.
All right, Marty McFly. Okay. All right, so we're cool with that one. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Because even I was talking to somebody. I was actually talking to Jizzo about it today, and you can have the greatest producer in the world. Of course, the DJ is the main guy that's going to get it out there and being heard. But at the same time, if you don't have a DJ and you're touring or anything, you're popped.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Your show is way different. Your show
Yeah,
is
it's
way
a whole-
different. You got to
yeah.
do a lot more work. You better be dancing.
The DJ takes the load. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
But in the balance, the DJ is the balance, man.
He's the balance.
And big up to DJ Intel, big up to Elevation, big up to DJ Vadim, big up to Inkswell. Like all those dudes definitely have held me down.
That's what's up.
And
And E.
brought
Johnson
the
said,
balance.
DJ. That's what
E
he said.
Brown too, man. He's definitely slid in.
All right.
I think everybody agrees on this.
Yeah. Okay. Rapper or MC?
I mean, for me, it's MC. It's always gonna be MC.
I knew he was
That's
gonna
what
say.
I
He
got
told me he
into
was
it
gonna
for.
say- I want to know who the fuck told me he was gonna say rapper. I ain't gonna call out no names, Jizzo. Knew he was gonna say MC. Why not rapper though? If you an MC, aren't you a rapper?
Well, no. I mean, to me, I think rapper is a broad statement. I feel MC is very specific on what you can do.
As in.
You know what I mean? Wow.
Yeah,
Said,
I mean,
spell
hey.
it out. Spell it out, man.
Spell it out. We got
Say
some
it
dummies
all.
out there. There's some really dumb people out there. They were like, "Wait, he talking about?" I don't
But
understand.
moving the crowd, you know, hosting, you know, being funny, you know, like really bringing a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, putting it all together.
Because sometimes I'll do a show, I might only do 4 songs. Other times I might do 20 songs because I'm going off the room. Where are we at? What is going on? What's important right now? Is it more important for my DJ to spend longer? Is it more important for me to talk to you? Is it more important for me to get everybody hyped up? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Right. And see, go ahead.
The other side of the coin, 'cause I think it was Chris Crack that said rapper is basically the new term for nigga.
That is what he said.
Yeah.
That is what he said.
Like, I guess it's a blanket if you're
Yeah,
black.
it kind of does roll in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a generic term at this point.
Facts.
I like it.
Very accurate.
I like it a lot.
All right. Record sales or touring?
Touring, man. That's like such a great experience. Just meeting new people and learning new things and, you know, seeing where you could take your stage show. For me, that's like one of the best things of seeing how far this show has come from the first show to the 100th and 12th, you know.
Right.
And coming from a creative soul, I appreciate that you talk about that part of it as opposed to you potentially make more money touring than you would.
Yeah,
with
that is the answer that most people give. Like, oh, touring because that's where I'm going to make all my money.
Yeah, I
you know what I'm
appreciate
saying.
your answer.
But there are people who prefer to just kick back and just let whatever little residuals. And
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I definitely have some homies that are never going to tour, never going to do a show, but they forever put out records and, you know, make their bread.
If that's what works for you.
Yeah, if that works for you. Yeah. Shit. All right. Good, man. You're all over this right now. I swear to God, I think you studied for this shit. I think the questions may have leaked out with the internet. All right. All right, here's another one. Word of mouth or the internet?
I think word of mouth is more interesting.
Right.
But I mean, we're living in the internet age now, so it's changed. But the word of mouth, the power of word of mouth is so deep because it's more of a suggestion from someone you respect. Whereas the internet is kind of like you kind of know this person. You think maybe I should listen to what they're saying.
Or it could be a bot.
Yeah, well, that too. There's a lot of that. I got tons of Forex traders.
And in a way, word of mouth is like pushing the culture forward too, kind of like,
Right. Yeah, just like you said, if I said, oh, to somebody like, oh man, you never heard of PUGS ATOMZ? Man, you gotta listen to that shit, bro. You gotta really peep what he's doing. I think people that see me and know me for what I do.
No, you put in value to the suggestion.
Exactly.
Because if you just look at people's album covers, it's hard, man. Some people have some really good album covers, and that album is trash.
Trash. Yeah, that's right. Like that.
Been there.
That's a very good answer. Not exactly what I was expecting, but a good answer nonetheless, because you do have to kind of look at both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of weigh it out, the yin and the yang of it a little bit, so to speak. But I think you're right. Like word of mouth, like even Nipsey Hussle, like he puts out an album, and it's pretty much word of mouth. It's like $1.50 per mixtape, right? And everybody's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like nobody's gonna pay for that. But he made a very valid statement about it being art, and you got to pay for the art. This is art. This is his work. This is his craft. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that goes along the lines of when you have word of mouth, that how strongly that speaks to other people. When you say something to somebody, say, hey man, well listen to PUGS ATOMZ, man. This shit's fucking dope, phenomenal.
Or like, yo, you should put this guy on the show. Or,
right.
You know what I mean? This is that to me, that's word of mouth. Like
right.
That's stuff. But I mean, word of mouth works on the internet. That's a DM.
But is it really word of mouth?
Well, no, I'm saying if they have a real relationship with that person,
right,
and they're saying push this person forward.
That's but a lot of just to be a devil's advocate on that, a lot of people claim shit because the anonymity of being behind a computer. Oh, I know him. I know this. I know.
Well, no. I'm not saying in that sense. I'm saying in the sense of like how they recommended it in person, but then they can also recommend it.
Got you.
In online. Yeah.
Okay.
That email where people connect you to someone.
Right.
That's word of mouth.
Yeah. True indeed. You got this one. This is loaded.
That's good.
Yep, nope, got to do it. You asked for this shit. I told you to go first. I did the numbers in my head, and I knew this was going to land on you.
I don't like this motherfucking question.
I don't. Well, you got to say it.
Who's better, white rappers or black rappers?
What kind of question is that? Like,
but hey, what the fuck? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to explain to you why. I think that some rappers that are white have a total advantage, and they also have a disadvantage because there are certain things that they can't say. They wish they could say on a record or say, speak on certain things that they can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's very loaded because it's like you can have.
Do you think Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time? Because that's what they say.
No, I'm just about to say because you're a white rapper, you could have an advantage because maybe you might have a bigger machine behind you already as far as investment in you. But then you could also just bomb because there's so much pressure, you know what I'm saying, for you to, I guess, have some, that image, that bravado shit that comes to being a rapper that kind of comes out of you inherently because you're black. It's assumed. Maybe you lack that.
You mean swagger?
Yeah,
swagger.
But I mean, like,
but people that don't be having none of that.
Yeah, but somebody made a me today that said, what about the white guy that grew up in the hood?
Exactly.
Who has a past?
Yeah, white Mike.
Has adopted those mannerisms and those things.
Whoever.
So Eminem's the
because
greatest.
one can say that Eminem had the courage to go in those places that he went into and do his battle thing, and he came out victorious in a lot of cases. Now,
does that make him better?
Oh, hey, you didn't hear that shit come out of my mouth at all. I'm just saying.
You got to watch it with her because she'll say some shit and then deny it later.
He's stacking the evidence. He's stacking the evidence on you, man.
Yeah, all right, hey.
You're not gonna drag me down this goddamn corridor.
Jizzle said he would say MC. I don't know. That's not how I remember it. But whatever, Jizzle. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, so just let's just answer it the best way we can.
Wait on you, Bugs.
Ah, man. I
You
don't
take
have an
the-
answer. I don't really, it's not even the fifth. It's like I don't even know what to say to that.
When I was at the crib and I was going back over these questions today, I did it like 4 times. And every fucking time it was this question. I kept saying to myself, who the fuck? What do you say? Because it's the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Why?
Because it could go so far left.
When I wrote it, I thought it was fucking hilarious.
It is in the way.
And your voice is reminiscent of Dave Chappelle at points. So I mean, I see where you're going.
Oh wow! I don't know if that was a compliment or a slap in the face. I don't even know. But
You really sound like him.
I'm gonna run with it.
When you get excited, you do.
All right, well, fuck it then. I'm Dave Chappelle. Shit, I'll take that any day.
I'll run that, bro. That
run
could
that
be
shit.
your whole like promo campaign for the show. Like,
fucking
no,
run
you can't see the person.
I'll get
You're
in
just
beat
thinking
with Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle. Fuck it, let's do it.
I ain't with all that. Fuck all that.
No, I ain't fucking with Dave Chappelle. Everybody will jump out their seats and whoop my ass.
No, I think that shit'll just be hilarious. That's yeah.
Ain't nobody fucking with Dave Chappelle, man. I ain't fucking with that dude, man. I seen how they beat up that one dude that tried to rush him on stage. I ain't fucking with Dave Chappelle, man. That motherfuckers that beat my ass.
They put the fox on his ass.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Question 7. Is it really possible to have a top 5 list of rappers?
I mean, mine always change. It's just based on what I'm listening to at the moment. It's no thing. Yeah.
Well, see,
I mean, honestly, I feel like your top 5 is probably like high school, college, like whatever you were really into. Like those were your people. Those were your goats. That's what you judge everything else off of now. You know.
Well, I wasn't expecting that as an answer because that is a good answer because when people think of like when I've been asked who was my top 5, I always go like Rakim number 1. When I think of Rakim, I think about like what I was doing. I can like you had said.
Oh, yeah, and memories with it. I mean, that's what makes it powerful. Yeah.
I could smell the crack I was cooking. You know what I'm saying? I can remember.
I know it.
My fingers got numb. My fingers get numb when I think of Rakim cutting up.
It was you and Nino Brown together.
Rocking up. Cocaine, baby.
And I told you, you give me iced tea vibes. And you see
that's fucked up.
Iced tea vibes. I don't think I've ever heard anybody.
I'm offended like a motherfucker. She said that shit before.
She's got some zingers. She's got some zingers too, man. It's coming. Both sides of the mic.
I don't appreciate that shit.
I'm just saying.
6 in the morning, police that bond.
See what I'm saying?
Mac Miller looking at you funny now too, man.
I know. This shit ain't right. I'm gonna edit this video. So this motherfucker looks like I'm winning. I'm gonna edit this motherfucker so I'm gonna be 100. By the next show, I'm gonna be 174 0. All right.
He judging you, G. He judging you, man.
What kind of shit is this?
Okay.
Next one. What you got?
West Coast gangster rap or gangster? What goddamn it? Well, okay. West Coast gangster rap or East Coast rap?
East Coast gangster rap.
Oh, sorry.
It's very specific.
Oh, it don't say East Coast gangster rap. It say East Coast.
Well, it's gangster rap we're talking about.
Okay, goddamn it, gangster rap, West or East?
East.
Man, what year?
That is the answer.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because it's certain years when they were cold, and it was certain years New York was super cold.
It's so dumb.
And then with New York gangster rap, sometimes you didn't know they were gangster rapping. So like 3 songs
you,
in,
maybe.
you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
No, to you maybe. I did.
If you was cooking crack and listening to Rakim, you may not have even knew you was a gangster. You would have just thought you was
fuck
regular.
that. I knew I was gangster all the way. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've been shot, stabbed.
I woke up gangster.
I knew what the fuck.
Ice-T went through. I read the book. See what I'm saying? Ice-T vibes. Hashtag Ice-T vibes.
Wow.
That might be a meme tomorrow, man. If you start this podcast, man, y'all are giving so many things for them to go off of, man.
Man, look, man. Listen, you say
laying the groundwork, the bricks, replacing the bricks.
and roast his ass for the whole interview. First of all, I could never roast Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle would flame my motherfucking
That shit
ass.
would be a
He would flame. I wouldn't even say shit. I wouldn't even flame my motherfucking
I would
ass.
just have popcorn in the corner, like, oh wow, okay.
Nah, you just gotta stand like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. Like,
God damn.
I can see it.
oh, man.
I'm definitely editing this fucking video. I'm definitely editing the fuck out of this shit.
Oh.
All right.
What's the next one? What's the next one?
CDs, tapes, vinyl, or streaming?
Man, probably vinyl, man.
Why?
Because out of all the things that I've had, like that's the thing that's lasted. My CDs, they fade or scratched up, all of that. My vinyl, they've been standing the test of time.
What about as far as like?
And I mean, even now, it's like that's what I'm selling the most of, vinyl. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. All right.
Okay, who gets a house first, you or your mom?
Well, I mean, I got me a house, so I guess she's.
So he answered it. He got his house first. There.
But I don't like with that kind of question. It's kind of like that's if that's what they into. You know what I mean? Because it's different kind of parents.
See, one of my friends said, he's like, Mama gets the house, but that's how Hispanics roll. I was like, what? That shit don't even make no sense. But because everybody, I think a lot of people would say, like me personally, I would say I would buy the house first, put it in my mom's name, and move her ass in. Anything happens to me, she gets the house, she gets the property, she gets whatever. Buying her a house, I don't know, because my mom was kind of unstable at one point. So buying her a house, I fuck around and come to that motherfucker that's boarded up, it's broken down.
No, but I mean that's the thing with that when people say it like that, like it all really depends on what your situation is, and also where they're at.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that one. Well, you're full of surprises now, aren't you, Mr. Pugs? full of all kinds of excitement.
You said come interview ready, man.
Oh no, you ready for sure.
Definitely not disappointed.
All right, this is the bonus question.
Big money here.
This is big money right here.
Yes.
He said he'll take the bonus question for $10,000. What's the name of the Jeopardy guy? Alex Quebec.
Damn, that's a little fortune. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's bonus question for 10,000, Alex. What would you rather have? Skill or fame? Gotta choose one.
I mean, if you know me, it's gonna be skill. It's gonna be skill.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I might have to pull your receipts up. I don't know. Because I watched one of your interviews and I actually got into it with somebody because I said, you see, he said skills because I said skills. And the other person said money. And I said, no. And then I had to take it back because I said, oh, shit. Because as you were talking, you were like, yeah, but, you got to get the money. You got to.
Well, no, I mean, you got to support yourself. You got to support yourself, though. I mean, that's.
You didn't say it with the greedy hands like I'm doing because in my mind, that's what you were like, yeah, you got to get to the bag. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to the money. But,
I don't think I said it like that at all.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I said get to the bag. I would never say that.
Well, the way I was
but I mean, to be real, I mean, I have bills. You know what I mean? I like things. I mean, for me, I was just like, man, do I want to work for somebody else or do I want to work for me?
Right. And Jizzo had said he would take the fame, and he was like because of the fame and the fortune. And I said, you can be famous and not have money. You can be infamous. That's the same.
I mean, it's a lot of people that are famous that are broke, G.
It's broke as fuck. And he's like, but you ain't gonna make no money with skills. I said, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Would you say a carpenter isn't skilled at his profession and that can make money, can probably, start from a framer to contracting or doing whatever? I mean,
but I mean, you could apply your skill to be famous.
True. This argument that I had with him as well. I'm like, telling him the same shit. But he was so adamant on saying, no, skills, fuck that. He's like, I do photography too, but I make money doing photography, but I only get that call like for $1,000 day might only happen once a month or once every 2 months. You know what I mean? But he doesn't equate the skill to actually getting to a certain point, because even if you're famous and you got to the bag, as they say, or to the money, you had to have some kind of hustle and you had to have some kind of skill and something.
Well, to be able to stay.
Right, and be able to stay
things, because that's the other one, man. I never wanted to have it where it's just like, man, that 1 year was amazing.
Or
Right.
or that one $10 million bag was amazing. Fucked up, I had to wear that suit, but I'm cool. I'm in the Greek islands right now. Nobody remembers that shit anyway. So
Well,
Nobody.
if you're in the Greek islands, you're doing pretty well. So
right, yeah, there it is.
you had some skills somewhere.
Right. Or you took the $10 million bag, put on the shiny suit, the hat, and the boots, and then went on about your business.
I mean, if it worked out for you, no harm, no foul.
No, but if you're in the Greek islands, it worked out. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it worked out, period.
For sure.
that's not a random trip. That's a
No,
very
it's not.
specific trip.
No, it's
Man.
very specific, and there will be yachts involved,
Not unless you
and
want
lots
to
of
run.
champagne.
You want to run. I
And-
don't know.
Or like the little beach trailers. I was like, man, y'all sure got a lot of trailers. Everybody drove their Winnebago here. Wow. This is
Yeah,
so
man.
cool.
Fuck yeah.
That's a lot.
That's beyond fly. Come on now.
It's fucking fly.
You need to step your game up.
It was fun. It was
You're
definitely
not
fun.
telling me how
I'll
to
tell you
use
that.
my vocabulary, okay?
Well, that, my friends, extends
Words with friends.
words with friends. You got to chill. Yeah. Hey, I got to tell you, man, you surprised me with a couple of your answers. You really did. And some of the answers you gave were very insightful.
Mhm.
Very insightful. Had a lot of depth and meaning to them. And that comes from a person that has a vast experience, obviously, of dealing with those different things, or even talking about those things, or working through those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they're all pretty valid questions. The black and the white one thing, that was in there on purpose.
Yeah.
That's a purpose.
At the very least.
That's a purpose
He's
driven.
still looking at you.
At the very
Yeah.
least, it's
I
part
am.
of it.
Hey, just saying.
We're sorry.
Hey,
It's like super ironic. That
hey man, somebody's got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to do it. I'll be that guy. And when Beats by the Pound come and they try looking for me, I'm gonna point at you. I say, if you want to blame somebody, blame her, motherfucking ass.
No. What you should do for every interview when you ask that question is change the posters on the wall to be leaning to one side.
Yes.
That would just be so aggressive. Like you got like
Leaning my way.
Yeah.
Everything leaning my way. Because I'm 173-0. I'm just gonna keep throwing that out there to people understand.
The energy would just be so aggressive. I just like, what am I
No,
walking into?
that would be my ice tea life. That's what I'm throwing out there.
You about to go arrest somebody.
That's crazy. I was so offended when she said that to me. She's like, I forget who were we interviewing.
Bob Rock.
Oh yeah, Bob Rock. And she's like, you're really throwing out iced tea vibes.
No, I was
And it was subtle, but it was like a punch in the fucking stomach. I was like, what? Iced tea? Like that? I was really fucking offended.
Oh,
Not that Iced Tea, I don't think Iced Tea is fucking, had his heyday and all that shit, and SVU or whatever fucking show he's on, he's doing a great job. I don't want no smoke with Iced Tea. But the fact that you said I had Iced Tea vibes, really, that was offensive.
But you
shouldn't,
took
man.
it apart.
It was
so
just
literally.
it's just as offensive as you call it Beats by the
No,
Pound, number
I
two
meant-
producers in the world.
I just meant appearance-wise, because we were talking about.
Now you say I look like the nigga. That's even worse. He got a fucking hairlip, not a hairlip. What do they call it? A cleft palate. A cleft palate.
He got that shit fixed. It's all good. But I was talking about the jeans and the hoodie type deal and the hat. Like, that was what the fuck came to my mind at the moment. But now
Ice-T ain't never wore no hoodies and jeans and hats and shit like this, man. Whatever.
That's not true.
He always goes undercover, G. You seen them shows? He be undercover. New Jack City. He was
See what you did.
some slacks. Yeah, slacks.
Hey, man,
Out there.
I guarantee you, I am going to come the next pause on the come part. The next show, I'm gonna be so ready. I am going to unleash a wrath of hell in which you have never seen before in your life.
I'm so frightened.
Okay.
Posters definitely changing on the wall.
Yeah, everything's changing. There's gonna be arrows and neon lights and all kind of shit pointing at me. Damn it.
Like Beetlejuice.
Nah, yeah, about Beetlejuice. Yeah, just like that. Now you're calling me Beetlejuice. Listen, man, we got PUGS ATOMZ in the building. Can we be respectful? You be respectful, please, of this man's time.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
So when you were a kid, well, no, not
Oh,
a
there's
kid.
what there's.
You said that you were more interested in graffiti. that was basically your ushering into artistic culture. So
Well, no, not in artistic, because I painted before, and that. I was like already painting since what was that? Maybe second grade, third grade. I was really into that and drawing. but graffiti, like it made it make sense. Like, cause it's like up until that point, I was just drawing like jerseys, sneakers, comics, and all this stuff. But when I saw graffiti, I was like, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were like, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to get into. What you envision, is that who you are right now?
Yeah, I think I came full circle back to where I started. Because in the beginning, you just did all the stuff. You didn't really think about it as I have to be one thing. You know, you just like, all right, that's what we're doing today. Let's do it.
That's what's up.
In hindsight, do you feel like every time you kind of, I guess, opened up another door in creativity, you think you kind of you leveled up on your understanding?
Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, like I usually stick with things, you know, until I get it, and then from there, I'll move on, you know? So it's just like all these things I do is just all my different experiences, you know, all the companies I might have worked for at a time. And this was what the job was, you know? And then like, oh, wow, I could do that for myself. Great. Bet.
Right. And how fucking amazing is it to be able to sustain your lifestyle doing something that you love?
Yeah. I mean, that's the reward, you know? That's the cool part.
Right. That is the cool part. Two-part question for you. How old were you when you wrote your first rap? This is something we ask everybody.
Oh shit!
I think it was like 7th grade, because I had asked for a keyboard for Christmas, and I couldn't play the keyboard, so I had grabbed my dad's tape deck and put the 2 joints in. Huh?
Did you get the keyboard?
No, I said I got the keyboard, but I didn't realize like you had to learn how to play the keyboard. Like, you know, because on all the commercials, the commercials, they just showed them push a couple buttons. You're like, word, bet they got drums.
I can do that.
And then like the quality too, you know, it was like the early Casio, you know, one of the lower units, so like super crispy. And then I didn't understand like, oh, people are sampling records, you know,
right.
And
people would die to have one of those crispy ass sounding fucking Casios because they have a certain sound to them right now. Lo-fi. Okay, now let's hear that first verse you ever wrote.
Man.
Don't say you don't remember it.
It's not even that. I'm trying to think about it.
Because we get a lot of, oh, remember that. All right, man, I ain't even going, man. I don't remember that shit. Which I find it hard to believe because even myself, I was a rapper before I started producing and shit. And I remember old ass rhymes that I wrote eons ago, especially the first ones. You know what I'm saying? So
that memory is serious over here.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, look. I even when I make music, like it's something that I made fucking 15, 20, even 30 years ago. If I hear just a tiny piece of it, I'm like, oh, I made that. You don't even have to tell me. I know I made that shit.
Give us your first rhyme.
Nope. I ain't doing it. If PUGS does it, I'll do it. By the way, I'm gonna know if you do some like recent.
He is so ready to go. He is so ready to pick this song. He's like, oh man, just give me the go. As soon as you say the words, I'm gonna drop it on him.
Oh, yeah, I got my battery pack. I'm ready. No, I'm just kidding.
I think during that time, it was like during the time of like 3-way calling, you know. So you were just like the boss on the home phone. You were living the dream, you know. 7th grade, it was like and I think my sister kept messing with me, and I wrote a whole song about that.
About your sister fucking with you?
Yeah, it's like leave me alone on the telephone. It was like the whole.
God,
I think that might even been the hook. It was like one of those.
What was your first rap name?
I used to go by MC Clue. That was like the first like, I'm a rapper. Yeah, I'm an MC.
You sure it wasn't like I don't know, MC Slick Banana Peel or something? Because everybody has a I don't know.
Well, no, see, you gotta understand, like I watched everything pertaining to hip hop. Right. So any movie that had graffiti in it, regardless of what the movie is about, I'm watching the movie to get to this one scene to see it. Right. So I mean, I had studied before I even picked the name. I mean, I was listening to this like EPMD, Heavy. I was listening to Cypress Hill, Black Sheep, De La Soul. You know what I mean? So all these groups, they have names. You know, you couldn't really have a corny name. You know, and even like now, like I'm like, MC Clue. Why'd I say MC Clue?
Yeah, a lot of people that we've interviewed absolutely refuse. They're like, yeah, I had a name. I ain't saying. I'm like, come on, man. No, man. But we had one person say it on. I think I almost fell out of my chair. The shit was so funny. But I mean, like people, they won't say their rap name. They're just like, nah,
I don't
man.
blame them.
But I will give you this though. Like I had a cousin. I have a cousin named Seagram, and like he was rapping well when I was a kid. So I mean, I had some prerequisite of like,
right, what
you know, you should, how to call yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was like, he's gonna laugh if I tell him my name is something else. Like, what is it?
If you walk up and be like, I'm MC Slick Banana Peel, he's not gonna like you very much. I get it. I understand. I had
You need to enter an MC battle and put that as your name. Like, you don't even have to go to the stage, but just put that on the list. That is.
Yeah, but if I come out with a name like that, I better have motherfucking bars. Like I better be like fucking.
You're being called first.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Call me first. Fuck it. I'm ready.
All right, so here, let's hit the verse, bro. Let's go.
Banana Peel.
Dead silence.
Yeah, it'll be Slick Banana Peel. Yeah, I think my first rap name was G Ski, and then from there it was G Smooth. Then from there it went to Fat Rap, not as a rapper though, as a producer, because I just right when I had gotten signed with Jesse Saunders, and I went to this party. It was like some dog pound party or some shit. You know, this is right when Snoop was really, his album had just dropped and shit. And I was in the party, and I'm like, I'm walking around with 240s and shit. I'm picking up people's I'm drinking every fucking thing. And
no COVID.
Yeah. The guy that was with me is like, this motherfucker, he like a big fat rat walking around. Everybody started laughing, and I'm like, fuck you. And I'm drinking this shit. And then everybody the whole night started calling me Fat Rat. And then like the next day I woke up and it was Fat Rat, and it stayed Fat Rat for a long fucking time.
Wow.
And I still try to, when people be like, somebody I haven't talked to in a long time, they be like, hey, yo, what's up, Fat Rat? I'm like, oh, nigga, don't, hey, easy on the Fat Rat, son. Easy on the Fat Rat, bro. I ain't trying to do all that shit right
I
now.
have so many questions about these 40 ounces and picking up random drinks, but
hey, man, listen, man, I was in my 20s. I was like 24. What do you want out of me? Fuck out of here.
Spinning the bottle.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That shit just.
I was fucking.
And people have backwash in the 40s, you know?
I was thinking about none of that. In my mind, back in the days,
is down to like that much. It's so gross. It was so gross.
I mean, I wasn't picking up 40s like that. I wasn't, like, oh shit, it's a cigarette button. Hold on, let me.
You were very discerning of your 40s.
Absolutely.
You
don't sit it down if it had this much in it. I'm fucking picking it up and walking off.
Wow. You were serious.
I don't do that shit anymore.
You were a serial 40-ounce taker.
I used to drink a lot of 40s.
We actually used to have a bar at Wicker Park where they served 40s. I remember that.
Back in the day, I would have loved that place. I would have taken every girl I was dating. I wouldn't even say dating. Every girl I was,
Well, it was actually a nice looking club, which was funny that like they were serving 40.
I love that Chicago shit. Yeah. I wonder if they sell 40 ounces of water. I'd have to walk around.
They do have 40 ounces of water. It's a company. I saw this. I forget where I was at, what city I was in, but yeah. And I was like, wow, they beat us to it.
Yeah, that would be dope. Just put it in a brown paper bag. Nobody would ever fucking know.
We gotta find that shit.
Yeah, we need that shit in our life, man. Listen.
That'll be our official beverage.
Before we get up out of this mess that you caused, we'll definitely have to do a part 2. Maybe when my co-host is on vacation or something, so we can get like a real interview, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm not rudely interrupted and there's like not all this fuckery going on, and I won't have to bring up Beats by a Pound and all this other shit. 73, I'm 173 and all, just to clear the air. All right.
He's on it.
So give everybody all your information, and before you do, please spell it out for some of these people because they are dumb as fuck out there. I ain't saying all you people watching are dumb, but there are people that will watch that are kind of slow.
Word. But right now, go stream or go buy the vinyl for my album Test Drive. It's even on CD, or get one of these tees. Bye. I designed it, yeah. And then you can go to PUGSATOMZ.com, PUGSATOMZ.com. Pugs with an S, Atoms with a Z. And you could shop all the new merch that I got going, man. Everything from coats, jackets, book bags, etc. And then, look out for a lot of the new art projects I have coming. Like I'm about to do my first like large scale sculpture, man. Hopefully before the end of this year. Really excited for the install. So look for that. And look out for the Inglewood Music Fest with my organization, Inglewood Arts Collective. We're hosting like a whole like arts pavilion there. So yeah, September 16th. Yeah.
Somebody just before, real quick, JM, actually, that's Reverb, asked how did he meet? Ask how did he meet Cache 22?
Catch 22.
Cache 22. He spelled it Cache. That's Cache.
But that's how you spell it. Yeah, that's how you spell it. Yeah.
That's what I get overseas.
Funny enough, I said the same thing.
Yeah.
But we met like in the scene, man, and like he was just one of those people I just gelled with, like we just hit it off, and then we started to work together because he had a promo company. Mm-hmm. And me and Real One, we would like do the record runs or the sticker runs or the store runs. And, we just kept building, like making music, together. And then we all were into like college radio. Like, I had a show, Real had a show, Catch had a show, So it just a lot of things in common. And I mean, we got something special soon. I'm excited for it.
That's what's up. That is 100% what's up. I have a question before we go as well. Is there a cheat code or a coupon for any of this stuff that we can get? Or coupon?
Well, nah, man, it's art.
No,
art doesn't go on sale. Art is just art.
I'm talking about apparel.
I'm saying my apparel is my art. It's my paintings. It's my drawings. Like, it's for the people that can't pay 5 G's for like, one of my big tapestries. That
okay, but how about think of us as a freeways.
She's like, look, I'm gonna get this discount code.
What do you call it? Not a canvas. I'm talking when you're driving down the freeway. Billboard.
Billboard. Damn, there you go.
Yeah.
Human billboards over here.
We got the influencers.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, even the test drive T-shirt would be fly.
Yeah, I mean, just holler at me, man. Holler at me.
Yeah, I got you, man. In the university, man, you never know. He might wake up tomorrow morning. He's like, I had a fucking dream. You know what? It was an iced tea wearing my goddamn shirt.
I gotta call this dude.
I gotta call this dude and give him a goddamn shirt. Yeah.
He was talking like Chappelle. This was crazy.
This has been 100% an honor, man, and a pleasure, man. I had a great fucking time interviewing you, man. And
I appreciate you having me, man.
Thank you. We thank you.
Yes, we appreciate that.
If nobody ever thanks you for your contribution in hip hop here in Chicago, man, we would like to thank you very much for your contribution in hip hop here in Chicago. Can we get something for that right now? Mm-hmm. Can give that to the man? You know what I'm saying? Give that to the man. You know what I mean? Because that's some real shit.
And when you complete your sculpture or complete anything that you're creating, you want to come back and get some free publicity.
Oh yeah, we fucking with you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That's right.
Yeah, anytime. We'll bump somebody for you. Don't even trip.
Wow. Oh man, I can be strategic. Oh man.
Yeah. You'll see the flyer one day. It's Scott Adams again. You're like, wait a minute. I thought Ice-T was going to be on the show. I thought they would. Well, we'll definitely bump you for Beats by the Pound. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
I might even call in sick for that one.
Just because you said that, I feel like some R&B singer, like new R&B singer, is going to take some of their joints and flip them and like make hits. I feel it just because you said it.
Well, I'm glad they do. You know what I'm saying? Anything we can do.
To help the people.
Anything you can do to help people.
They're going to find us. I swear. They're going to find us.
I don't give a fuck. I'm ready for them niggas. You think it's the first time I've been around somebody that didn't like me?
He from New York.
Shit. Give a fuck. I was built for this shit. You think I'm gonna be scared? You gonna hide from them? Like, nigga, come on in and have some coffee and tea, nigga.
Oh man, they got to carry you off now. They got to carry you off just on that line. That was like the line where they.
For real shit. I'm telling you, hey, yeah. And I left you some cookies. I'll be right back. And then Chris Hansen will come out. Chris Hansen will come out with some paperwork. Come out. Y'all really suck, motherfucker. Okay, anyways. Anyways, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. We cannot wait to have you back. This once again, this has been UNRAP, boy. Can we get some motherfucking? Can I get some? Yeah.
Bow.
It's UNRAP, baby.
UNRAP.
Go to the YouTube channel and like, subscribe. Do that shit. Check out PUGS ATOMZ. Everything you got, the artwork, the CDs, scratched up ones too. You know what I'm saying? The vinyl, the clothes, all that, the cassette tapes, the test drive that's coming soon, the sculptures. Boy, get in tune. You know what this is, man.
I need that as my regular voice, just all
and
day.
we'll be back at it like crack addicts next Friday at 8 motherfucking 30. Guys.